What's going on, YouTube? This is Twink from Tech-nically Gaming. Yeah, I know it sounds a little different. This is formerly Twink Knows Tech, but I'm doing a little rebranding because my content really lately hasn't been, about game. I mean, it's been more so about gaming, but it's still technically a tech channel. I like to do both, and most of the tech that I review is typically, like today, gaming related. So yeah, Tech-nically Gaming is the new name of the channel. Hope you guys are okay with that. Anyways, without further ado, I'm just gonna jump right into it because this is technically, I messed up on the first version of this video. So this is technically like, part 2 or second attempt. If you hear a little bit of licking and sneezing and stuff like that, Doug's right here on the ground. If you guys don't know who Doug is, come here, Doug. I'll show you guys who Doug is. Doug is my pug, my annoying pug who loves to harass me at terrible times. All right, Doug, I need you to bag up. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Anyways, without further ado, see, I told you guys. Today's video is gonna be based. Well, I'm going ahead. I realized the last time I tried to make this video it was taking about 20 minutes, so I'm gonna dial it back I'm gonna move pretty rapidly through this. This is gonna be a quick review of this gem right here, which is the Valve SteamDeck. If you guys don't know what it is, more than likely if you're watching this video, you already know what it is. And maybe you're just trying to see a couple videos like I was to see if it's something that you really want to buy, or maybe you already bought it and you just want to see other people's experience with it. Who knows? But if you haven't bought one and you're contemplating, I'm gonna go off and say do it. I love this thing. I've been playing with it for about a month and a half now. I didn't initially, when they dropped the pre-orders, I didn't want to buy one because I was like, it's not shipping until next year. I think they dropped the pre-orders last year in 2021, and it wasn't shipping until like Q1, Q2 of 2022. And I didn't want to, even though the pre-orders were like $5, I really wasn't that interested because I didn't know the capabilities of it as well. I knew it was a portable gaming computer, so to speak, but I did not know that, I didn't know if you had to have a gaming computer, if you had to have Steam already, which I didn't have Steam when I bought it, but I didn't know that you could just download the app. I didn't know none of that stuff. I was blind, I was in the dark. Most people probably are, because a lot of people don't know what this is if you're not into gaming or into tech or gaming PCs. But anyways, oh my God, I'm tired of this dog. Sorry, he just farted and he's really annoying. All right, Doug, you gotta go. 1 second. Nah, I'm not gonna kick you out. Stop it though. Anyways, back into the video. Yeah, so I wasn't sure. I didn't have a gaming PC. Never really had the interest on doing it. Kinda am now that I got my feet wet with this, and my friends, they all got gaming PCs now. It's not a need. It's more so like a niche item that I might consider to get eventually. But if I do, you guys will see it here first because, this is what I do it for. I do it to make content. And yeah, so if I do buy one, it's because I want to make content. And if I do get it, its sole purpose isn't going to be for gaming. It's more so going to be to make more content, capturing gameplay and stuff like that, which I don't really do. I just like talking and giving you guys my opinions on certain devices and stuff like that. Back to this thing. This is the 64 gig. I paid $400 for it, and I think my taxes in Florida is like $29 or something like that on 400. So it's like $429 shipped. It said it was gonna take about 1 to 2 weeks for it to get delivered. I bought it on a Monday, like midday, probably like 1 o'clock, and it was delivered to me Friday around like 6 o'clock. I mean, didn't take 2 weeks. I guess they do that just to give themselves a little cushion, just in case things get delayed. They don't have people like blowing up their customer service like, hey, where's my SteamDeck? Why hasn't it shipped yet? But I think I instantly got an update saying that like it was packaged and ready to go in like a day, and then eventually just took a few days for me to actually get it in hand. The minute I got this thing in hand, I want to say either I bought games. I had already been on Steam. I signed up for Steam after I bought my system, and I instantly just started looking up games, wish listing games. They had a lot of sales on there. It was one of the beautiful things about owning a Steam Deck or using Steam in general. Like, it's a lot of Steam sales. But my sole purpose of getting a Steam Deck was games that I wanted to play that aren't literally on console. You'd have to play them on a PC, and this was the cheapest like entry level point for me that I was willing to get. I didn't want to get a used cheap gaming PC because I'm not into low spec stuff. Like, I like higher end things. Like, when it comes to like my tech and stuff like that, I am a tech person. That's the reason I started this channel in the first place. So I want like at least comparable stuff that I could run for the next few years. I didn't want something that was 5 years old or multiple generations old. So for $400 I can get a brand new system that could run those games. I was on board with it. Only thing is, I opted to get the 64 gig, which I was okay with because I think they got I know for a fact they got 3 different configurations of this. They have 64 gig for $400. I believe $529 is the 256 gig, and there's literally no difference besides the SSD in the 256 gig, which, I mean, that's kind of a big difference. But I mean, like, cosmetically it looks the exact same. It just internally has a faster SSD inside of it, which is a 256. So you're getting a little bit more storage for $130. That was a little high for me. And the screen and stuff is the same. And then they have the case as well is the exact same as the 64. And then they have the 512 gig, which has the anti-reflectant screen, which me personally, I think it makes it look, not as sharp and crisp as I like it to be. Doug, can you stop snoring? Okay, yeah, I don't like the anti-reflecting screen because it makes it kind of like not as crisp as and vibrant as how it looks on here. It looks a little washed out. And other than that, the only difference, they gave you the anti-reflecting screen, 512 gig SSD, and the carrying case is a little bit different. Like, on the carrying case that I have, I can go ahead and show you guys. So this is the case you're gonna get with the 64 and the 256. It's got like this white little string. The inside's black. It's not really, I mean, it's fine for what it is. It's free. It comes with the system. It actually ships inside of it. And this thing is like just like one of those iron-on stickers. I was okay with that though. I mean, when you buy a Switch, do they give you a carrying case? No. So this was cool. But yeah, the 256 and the 64 comes with that. The other one comes with like a fancier one where the emblem is like embossed in there and it's blue and white. That was, that wasn't gonna be a selling point, especially for an extra, I wanna say $250 is the price difference. Just to get more storage and a different carrying case and anti-reflecting screen. Now I was okay on that. But especially when you could buy an anti-reflecting screen on Amazon, and you'll have the same look if that's what you actually want. If you don't want the anti-reflectant, if you want the anti-reflectant without paying the price, you can always just buy the screen protector. And then that'll be actually kind of better because it's more so protected, but that's neither here nor there. But I opted to get the 64 gig for one. It was a cheaper entry level, and I also did a lot of research prior to me buying it. I seen a lot of videos where people were testing out the speeds of the SSD versus the SD card, and the load times really weren't that, it wasn't that critical. It wasn't like how PS4 loads games versus PS5. It was nothing like that. Like, if you want to see what I'm talking about, go look at a comparison of Red Dead Redemption being booted up on a PS4 versus a PS5. It's night and day. It wasn't like that on here. It was like, negligible, maybe like at best, worst case scenario, less than like a minute. But I mean, have you ever ran Doom Eternal on this? I mean, every load time is about a minute plus. Like, you could probably walk off, go fix you something to eat, and come back when you're trying to play AAA games on the Switch that are ports. Like, so me personally, I played the first Doom and the second Doom on the Switch, and just seeing those load times, every load time that I've experienced on this was nowhere near as bad as that. So I was okay with it. I was like, originally I had a 256 gig, so I bought that just, to start me off. Realized that wasn't gonna be enough storage, so Black Friday was like a couple weeks ago. Found a 512 gig Samsung SD card. So that's a half a terabyte. I think I paid $45 for it. So, that's $45 plus the for less than $450. I had more storage than the $650 Steam Deck. So that was kind of like a a no-brainer for me. So once I did that, I was going kind of bonkers on the games I was putting on here. Like I got Horizon Zero Dawn, which never really wanted to play on PlayStation. I bought it because, you know, I wanted to feel like I had a Steam Deck. I didn't want to buy a bunch of games that could run on the Switch. I bought games that I know literally should be ran on like a home console. I guess it's like a slight flex when I'm at my friend's house and stuff like that, just the sheer power of the Steam Deck. Not saying I'm flexing on them, because you know, I actually want them to eventually get one, but I'm just sorry about the interruption, but at least Doug's not in here anymore. But yeah, I think I last was saying playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. I really wasn't interested in playing this game. I just wanted to play like games that, you know, I didn't want to be glued in front of my TV to play. Like that's kind of the reason I give some of these games a chance. Like I recently beat Mafia 2, which is the only one that's playable on Steam Deck. That's on Steam. I enjoyed that game so much. I sat there and locked in on that, beat it in like 3 or 4 days. Such a good game. Can't wait for them to make the new one. Anyways, Horizon Zero Dawn is another one of those games where I was like, okay, I want to get into this game, but I want to play it here and there. I don't want to sit there and try to devote a day to playing this game, and what if I don't like it? But I ended up buying it on Steam, and I've been playing it, and I love the fact that I can just lay in the bed while my girlfriend's asleep and just, you know, play a AAA game. That's the amazing aspect of this. And yeah, like I mean, not only the fact that I can play AAA games, it's the fact of everything else that comes with the Steam Deck. I don't know if you guys can see in the background, I have like a keyboard set up. It's a little dusty right now because I don't know how to play on mouse and keyboard, to be honest with you. But I have it just in case, especially when I switch over to Linux, which this, you know, system is pretty much a gaming PC. It switches over to a different operating system, so to speak. It's running Steam OS most of the time, but you can switch to desktop mode, and that's where you can unlock a whole different aspect of this system, which is good for AAA gaming and regular, you know, indie gaming that a lot of these games aren't available for like Switch and PlayStation and Xbox. So it's a good way to, you know, be able to play it. But however, when you switch it over to Arch Linux, you could turn this thing into a beast of an emulator, and it is so much easy to emulate on this versus like I tried to do it with my Xbox and I was struggling. It's to the point I think I paid $20 for like a dev kit for my Xbox to, you know, be able to emulate and try to do the emulators, and I couldn't figure that out. I think I was using RetroArch and it wasn't working for me. Meanwhile, the Steam Deck has something called EmuDeck where it makes it so easy. It's like it's really copy and paste, no pun intended. Like you just get your ROMs, your legally acquired ROMs, and you know, I think what else you got to get, the BIOS files for certain games and stuff like that, well, certain systems, and you just put them all on the SD card and dump it onto the Steam Deck, and then right there I'm running, what games do I have on there? Luigi's Mansion, that, you know, GameCube, Luigi's Mansion, and it runs pretty much flawlessly a lot of older consoles. I know it's possible to run PS3 on there. I haven't tried it, but I've been running GameCube, PS2, Xbox, 3DS. 3DS is a little, well, yeah, 3DS is a little different because, you know, the dual screen aspect of it is kind of weird. You got to touch certain games, you got to use the touch screen of the Steam Deck to run, so it's a little weird when it gets to that point, but it's not unplayable. It's definitely playable, but you just got to get used to it. Other than that, I love this thing. Like my first initial impressions, I thought it was like pretty massive, which I mean it is, but you get used to it over time pretty quickly, and it's not heavy. It is heavy. It's a heavy system. It's way heavier than I think like the Switch is, but it's way more ergonomic. Like it feels good to actually hold this thing in your hand. But yeah, I love this thing. It's a phenomenal device, and the capabilities that you can get. You can't build a gaming PC with new parts, a controller, screen, and everything for this value. Like I don't even think like most of the other little handhelds like the Aya Neo and stuff like that, they can't compete with this because of the price point. The price point is so affordable and so obtainable by most people. It's a really attractive thing. And I'm gonna keep it short and simple. If you've been thinking about getting one, get one. You're not gonna, you're not gonna regret it, especially with game keys, Steam keys, and stuff like that you could buy from certain websites. I use a website called Instant Gaming, and I buy a lot of these games for like pennies on the dollar. Like, I think I bought a $60 game on Steam for $2 on Instant Gaming. So you can easily fill up your library. Just buy the 64 gig, get you a 512 gig SD card, and go on Instant Gaming with like $50, and you'll be loaded at that point. But anyways, other than that, I'm gonna keep it short and simple, and I'm gonna let you guys know. And like I said, this is Twink from Tech-nically Gaming, and I'm about to technically go ahead and get some gaming in. So I'll get you guys next time. Peace.